Usually, when we picture organized crime, we imagine like the mob shaking down local businesses for protection
No,
money.
yeah, it's a very clear transaction of power and, territory.
Yeah, you pay up, you stay safe. But today, we're looking at a turf war where the territory is, well, it's completely inviolable. And the Daily Tribute is exactly 50 cents worth of virtual coins.
Which is honestly such a funny concept when you actually say it out loud.
Right. Welcome to this custom deep dive. Our mission today for you listening is unpacking this Pokemon Go rivalry from our source text. It is a wild saga of digital power, unrequited affection, and just deep, deep pettiness.
Oh, absolutely. The pettiness is completely off the chart.
It really is. And I want to ask, why do we get so obsessively possessive over these digital landmarks?
Well, to understand that, we kind of have to look at how this specific conflict actually starts. So we have this player named Clayton, and he's on Team Instinct. And life in his neighborhood is just this, constant cycle of frustration. I mean, every single time he places a Pokemon in a local gym to earn his daily coin allowance, he just gets instantly booted out.
Wow. Just instantly, like every single time.
Literally every time. He assumes it's some sort of GPS hacker, right? So he gets so desperate for that premium currency that he actually spends 10 real world dollars just to switch to the dominant faction in the area, which is Team Mystic.
Oh, wow. So he's literally trying to buy peace with $10. Does he actually get it?
Well, no, he gets something much stranger, honestly. Clayton finally meets the supposed hacker in person, and it turns out to be this guy named Joe.
Wait, an actual person, not a bot?
Yeah, exactly, an actual guy. Joe is a day one veteran player who has spent years, carefully cultivating this specific neighborhood as his personal no-fly zone.
A no-fly zone. That is so intense.
It is, and Joe smugly admits to booting Clayton all those times. But then, in this weird attempt to be, a benevolent veteran, Joe hands Clayton a $10 game card and some custom 3D printed Pokemon.
You know, you might call that a generous gift, but to me, receiving a peace offering from your digital tormentor is exactly like a high school bully buying you lunch.
Oh, that is such a good comparison.
Right. Like, you take the free food, sure, but you are secretly plotting their absolute downfall what you chew.
And that is the exact psychological flip that happens here. Clayton doesn't feel gratitude at all, He feels patronized.
I mean, yeah, I would too.
Right, it feels like a bribe from a king tossing scraps to a peasant. And that perceived insult just completely plants the seeds for his entire villain arc.
So Clayton has this grudge now. Does he just, sit on it, or does he actually do something with his villain origin story?
Oh, he does something. He finds out he's not the only one obsessed with Joe. Clayton's growing resentment perfectly collides with this bizarre, chaotic social web that is completely orbiting Joe.
Wait, what kind of social web?
Well, there's another player, Shaden, who desperately wants Joe to be his brother. And then Shaden's friend Lewis takes one look at Joe's high-level accounts and his effortless gym control, and he literally decides he wants to marry the guy.
Wait, back up. Someone wants to marry him over his Pokemon Go stats. How did a mobile game turn into a rejected rom-com?
I know, right? But it actually gets better or worse depending on how you look at it. Meanwhile, there's a fourth player, Jacob, and Jacob just wants Shaden to notice him.
Oh my gosh. It's this complete daisy chain of unrequited affection.
Exactly. Joe functions less like a fellow gamer and more like a detached celebrity to this group of intense parasocial fans. And the craziest part is, he is completely unfazed by their existence. He just ignores all of them.
Which I can imagine being ignored by your idol or your nemesis is the one thing this group just absolutely cannot handle.
You hit the nail on the head, they finally snap. Clayton senses blood in the water, so he spends another $10 to switch back to Team Instinct.
Another $10. This is getting expensive.
Yeah, and he renames his account to Clay Got You and rallies this entire spurned group. Even Jacob breaks his own rules and deploys a cheating spoofing account to teleport around virtually.
Oh, wow. So they are going all in.
Completely. Together, they launch a frantic 4-hour physical siege on all of Joe's gyms.
Let's actually talk about the mechanics of this because the asymmetry here is just wild to me. To Clayton's crew, this is a massive, sweaty war.
Oh, a total war.
Yeah, they're standing out on the street, furiously tapping and swiping for 4 solid hours. But what is Joe actually doing during all this?
Well, Joe is literally sitting on his couch. Because of how the game's mechanics work, a defending player doesn't have to physically be at the gym.
Right, they can just defend remotely.
Exactly. When a gym is attacked, Joe just gets a push notification. He opens his app and remotely feeds his defending Pokemon a golden raspberry, which instantly heals them to full health.
That is so deeply frustrating for the attackers.
It really is. So while the attackers are burning time, their phone battery life, and physical energy outside, Joe is just casually tapping a button from his living room every few minutes.
It's incredible. I mean, they want this epic showdown, and to him, it's just mild app maintenance.
And the aftermath really just seals this dynamic perfectly. Joe finally gives them what they want, which is his physical presence.
Wait, he actually goes outside.
He does. He walks outside, gives them this cold, distant stare of a victor, and then just goes right back inside to ignore them completely.
Oh, and that is brutal.
The fallout is catastrophic for the group. Lewis is heartbroken and deletes Joe. Shaden continues to pine after him. Clayton is, entirely consumed by his obsession.
I'm sorry, and didn't I read in the source that Jacob is left waiting at an Applebee's? I need to know how that happened.
Yeah, so Jacob was hoping Shaden would finally show up for him after the battle, but he just gets stood up completely.
At Applebee's. That's so sad.
Meanwhile, Joe is just sitting at home. His digital storage is perfectly organized. He's cool. He's unbothered. And to them, he is absolutely evil.
What a wild story. And for you listening, I think this is a stark reminder about the nature of digital spaces. They inherently favor the detached defender over the emotional attacker.
Very true. In any competitive space, absolute apathy often effortlessly defeats raw emotional effort. Joe won the war because he simply, didn't care.
Yeah, he just didn't care at all.
It forces us to look at how we allocate our own energy. When you detach emotionally, whether in a game or in real life, the attacks just bounce off. You basically remove the very thing the attacker is trying to provoke.
Which brings us back to that virtual mob boss collecting his 50-cent tribute. I will leave you with this to ponder. If a highly coordinated, emotionally charged 4-hour assault couldn't even make Joe stand up from his couch, what does it actually take to disrupt the power of someone who genuinely does not care?